In this video, we're going to talk about implicit differentiation. So let's say you have y equals x squared. You already know that y prime or dy over dx is equal to 2x. Now let's take a look at differently. Let's say you're taking the derivative respect to x. So derivative of y respect to x is dy over dx. Now what's the derivative of x squared respect to x? That's going to be 2x. And using the chain rule, what is the derivative of x with respect to x? It's going to be dx over dx. Here we had dy over dx because you were taking the derivative of y respect to x. Now, what is dx over dx? It's 1. So you just end up getting 2x. That's why we only had 2x. But now, when we do implicit differentiation, you have to think about doing taking the derivative respect to x, therefore getting dx over dx. Okay, now you have y squared equals x. What is dy over dx? So let's take the derivative of y squared. You get d2y, and then using the chain rule, take the derivative of y respect to x. So you get dy over dx equals, what is the derivative of x? That's just 1 dx over dx, which is just 1. So now you need to isolate dy over dx by itself. Therefore, dy over dx is 1 over 2y. So basically, whenever you take the derivative of y, that becomes dy over dx. And whenever you take the derivative of x, that just becomes dx over dx. It says find the slope of the circle x squared plus y squared equals 25 at the point 3, negative 4. So in order to find the slope of this circle, we got to find dy over dx. So let's take the derivative of this. So what's the derivative of x squared? That's 2x dx over dx. Plus, what's the derivative of y squared? That's going to be 2y dy over dx, because you're taking the derivative with respect to x, equals derivative of 25 is a constant, so it's 0. So now let's divide everything by 2. You could do that because this is an equation. So you get x, and then dx over dx is just 1, plus y dy over dx equals 0. I divide everything by 2. Now let's isolate dy over dx. So you get y dy over dx equals negative x. You got to divide y by both sides. So therefore dy over dx equals negative x over y. So what is the slope of this circle at 3, negative 4? All we got to do is plug it in. Here's the x value, and here's the y value. So you end up getting the slope of a circle at 3, negative 4 is negative times 3 over negative 4, which is 3 over 4. So that will be the slope of this circle at 3, negative 4. We have 2y equals x squared plus sine y. Now they want us to find dy over dx. Now you know that dy over dx is the same thing as y prime. So instead of using dy over dx, let's just use y prime. So what is the derivative of 2y with respect to x? Well, it's going to be just 2y prime equals What's the derivative of x squared? That's going to be 2x dx over dx, but we're going to just put just 1, so it's just 2x. Plus, what is the derivative of sine y? That's going to be cosine of y times, remember the chain rule? What's the derivative of y with respect to x? Well, that's dy over dx, which is the same thing as y prime. Now, we need to have y prime by itself, so we're going to put all the term that has y prime on one side. Let's factor out the y prime. So we get 2 minus cosine of y equals 2x. And what is y prime? Y prime is 2x over 2 minus cosine of y. So that is our dy over dx. Now let's say you got x squared minus xy plus y squared equals 7. And they want you to find the equation of the tangent line to this curve at negative 1 and 2. And the equation of the normal line to this curve at x equals negative 1 and y equals 2. So in order to do that, we first need to find the slope of this curve at negative 1 and 2. So we need to find the dy over dx. So let's find the derivative respect to x. So derivative of x squared is 2x dx over dx, but we're just going to put 1 minus, now we got to be careful here. You have to use a product rule. Parentheses, x times the derivative of y, which is y prime, plus y times the derivative of x, which is just 1, isn't it? Parentheses, plus the derivative of y squared, which is going to be 2y, and don't forget y prime, equals, and what is the derivative of 7? That's just 0. So now we need to have a y prime by itself. So you get 2x, distribute the negative, and let's have all the term that has y prime on one side, all the others on the other side. So you end up getting 2y, y prime minus x, y prime equals y minus 2x. So factor out the y prime, you get quantity 2y minus x equals y minus 2x. And what is y prime? Y prime is y minus 2x over 2y minus x. Now, in order to find the equation of the tangent line of this curve at negative 1 and 2, we got to find the slope at negative 1, comma 2. And let's plug it in. You get 2 minus 2 times negative 1 over 2 times 2 minus negative 1, which is, that becomes 4, and that becomes 4 plus 1, which is 5. So slope of the tangent line is 4 over 5. So it's going to be y minus 2 equals 4 over 5 times the quantity x plus 1. That will be the equation of the tangent line. What about equation of the normal line? Well, the slope will be negative reciprocal. So you end up getting y minus 2 equals negative 5 over 4 quantity x plus 1. And you have 2x cubed minus 3y squared equals 8. And they're asking you to find the second derivative. Now remember, this is a symbol for second derivative, which is the same thing as y double prime. So in order to do that, we first need to find the first derivative. So let's go ahead and solve for y prime. So derivative of 2x cubed is going to be 6x squared. And don't forget that you're going to get dx over dx. But we're going to ignore it now. Minus 2 times 3, which is 6. Y, and then you got to take the derivative of y with respect to x. So you get y prime. Equals derivative of 8 is 0. So in order to solve for y prime, let's divide everything by 6. You get x squared minus y prime equals 0. Solve for y prime. You get negative x squared over negative y, which is x squared over y. So here's your y prime. But we got to find y double prime. So we have to take the derivative one more time. So y double prime is, now we have to use a quotient rule. So it's going to be denominator square and denominator times the derivative of numerator, 2x, minus the numerator times the derivative of denominator, which is y prime. Okay, there's your second derivative, but we cannot just leave it like that. What is y prime? Y prime is x squared over y. So we have to substitute x squared over y instead of y prime. We end up getting 2xy minus x squared times x squared over y. All over y squared. So we got some cleaning up to do here. So it's going to be 2xy minus x to the 4th over y all over y squared. Now this is a complex fraction, isn't it? So how can we simplify this? Well, since the denominator is y, that's the only denominator that we see here. Let's multiply the top by y and bottom by y as well. Because y over y is 1. And you're multiplying the y on top, so we're going to multiply y on the bottom. Now distribute the y. You end up getting 2xy squared. And when you distribute the y to this term, y will cancel out. So minus x to the 4th over y times y squared is y cubed. So this is your y double prime. However, the book might go further. On the quiz and the test, this is fine for me, but in the book, they might separate these two terms. So y double prime, 2xy squared over y cubed minus x to the 4th over y cubed. They might cancel out the y's here. You get 2x over y minus x to the 4th over y cubed. These two are the same. But again, this is fine for me, but also at the same time, you should know that these two are equivalent.